Homeostasis is the maintenance of internal body conditions at equilibrium despite change in the external environment, right? One of the example is if the temperature outside is 50, 60, or it's 20 or 15, our body's temperature should be 37 degrees Celsius, right? Why is this important? This is important because of the proper functioning of the enzyme. As we know that enzymes function at optimum temperature, which is 37. Many of the metabolic reactions which are occurring in our body, they also take place at optimum temperature, right? So this was one example of the temperature. Then there are also different processes. Temperature should be constant, and the maintenance of the constant temperature is known as the thermoregulation. There are different parts of the body which help in maintaining the temperature at constant level. Then is osmoregulation. We have also studied in excretion about the osmoregulation. It is a maintenance of water and salts at equilibrium in the body. Can you tell me which parts of the body or which organs of the body help in maintaining the concentration of water and salts at equilibrium?
The kidneys.
Yeah, kidneys help in maintaining the concentration of water and salts at equilibrium. So it's also known as the osmoregulatory organ along with the excretory organ. Then we've also studied about excretion. It's the removal of harmful waste metabolic products from the body, and it also helps in homeostasis or maintaining concentration of some of the salts, some of the toxic substances, water, and different ions in the blood or in the body, okay, which is important for maintaining the pH, which is important for blood pressure, right? And also it maintains the concentration of salts as well. Okay, homeostatic control, it involves important principle which is known as the negative feedback, and body always, negative means which is opposite to the opposite effect to the change. If there is high concentration, it will decrease its concentration. It is opposite to high concentration, so it's known as a negative feedback, right? For homeostatic control to occur, there must be a stimulus. So we know what is stimulus. It's any change in the internal environment, and it can also be in the external environment as well, right? Receptors are the cells of the organs which detect the stimulus, and then there is automatic or self-regulatory corrective mechanism which brings about the negative feedback, right? Here you can see in the picture that stimulus, anything which is above normal concentration or below normal concentration, that is the stimulus, right? Normal concentration, if anything which is above normal, it's also the stimulus, means increased concentration of anything in the body, or the decreased concentration of anything in the body is the stimulus, right? Increased will then, it will activate the corrective mechanism of the body, and this corrective mechanism will activate the negative feedback, and negative feedback will decrease its concentration. As here you can see, its concentration is increased, right? And its corrective mechanism will decrease its concentration as it is doing opposite job, so it's known as the negative feedback. Same will happen when the concentration will be below normal. It will activate the corrective mechanism, and corrective mechanism will again activate the negative feedback, and negative feedback will bring the concentration to normal, right? One of the example we have discussed in excretion, it is the concentration of the water, or it's the osmotic concentration in the body, right? Here you can see its concentration is normal, right? And here you can see stimulus is increase in its concentration. It can be, okay, stimulus, and here's as the water potential increases. This is increased or high concentration. This is low concentration. Low concentration, they are saying that there is low concentration in blood. There is low water in blood. It means that more water should be reabsorbed into the blood, right? So what will happen? It will activate the corrective mechanism, and we have discussed this corrective mechanism in excretion. More ADH is secreted. ADH is, what is ADH, Amna? Hello, Amna, what is ADH?
It's the energy, miss.
ADH is?
The energy.
No, it's not energy. We have studied in excretion. It's the hormone. It is
in the brain and stored in the gland.
So this is antidiuretic hormone, which is secreted by the pituitary gland, and this hormone helps in a reabsorption of water from the kidney. If there is less water in the blood, it means that more water is needed in the blood, right? So more antidiuretic hormone is secreted and more water is reabsorbed into the blood. This release of antidiuretic is basically the corrective mechanism which will increase the concentration of water into the blood, and this is the negative feedback. As here we have seen that the water potential has been decreased. Right? How it will increase? It will increase by the corrective mechanism, and the corrective mechanism is the release of antidiuretic hormone, which is also known as the vasopressin by the pituitary gland. The reverse will happen when its concentration will be more, blood osmotic concentration is more, less is ADH or antidiuretic hormone is released, so that the less water should be reabsorbed, as there is already more water in the blood, right? So it activates the negative feedback, which reabsorbs less water and brings the concentration of water to normal. Can you tell me why the concentration of water should be normal in blood?
So that
if I ask you that this is for 3 marks, how will you write down this? If there is high concentration in the blood plasma, what will happen? Okay, let me give you a hint. It is related to your diffusion and osmosis, or movement of molecules in and out of the cell.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If there's too much water, the cell, the water will go inside the cells, and then there will be too much water and they will burst.
Yeah, they will burst. Water will move inside the cell by osmosis, right? And they will burst. And if there is less water, then what will happen? Water will move out of the cells, and they will shrink. Okay, there is also another example which is about the blood glucose concentration, and it will revise your concepts of hormone, right? The previous one was related to kidney excretion, and this one is related to hormones. Can you see it's little blur? Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, as there is high glucose concentration, right? This line shows that this is normal, right? And this is high concentration, and this is the low blood glucose concentration. Okay, if there is high blood glucose concentration, then what will happen? And this is the low, this is the normal. If there is high, it means this is stimulus. Low concentration in the blood is also the stimulus, which will activate the corrective mechanism, right? Too much concentration and too little concentration, these are the stimulus. They will activate the corrective mechanism. Okay, Amna. Now tell me, if there is too much glucose concentration in the blood, which corrective mechanism is activated to bring it back to normal?
The insulin is released in the pancreas, which breaks down the glucose.
It is released from pancreas into blood, right? Which breaks down glucose, you said. No, it do not break down glucose. It converts glucose into
glycogen.
Yeah, it converts glucose into glycogen. Where is it stored?
In the gallbladder?
No. Glycogen is stored in liver and it is stored in muscles, right? And the blood glucose concentration is brought back to normal. If there is low concentration or little concentration, you have studied this, Amna, in hormones, right? If there is less concentration, tell me what will happen. Too little concentration, it will activate the corrective mechanism, right? How is how the concentration of glucose will increase in blood? Which hormone?
Glucagon will be released.
And from where it will be released?
Liver.
Yeah. Glucagon is released from liver? It is also released from pancreas. Right, we studied yesterday. Pancreas releases two hormones. One is the insulin and second is the glucagon. And we also studied that there is another hormone which also increases the concentration of glucose in blood. Which one is that?
Like as far as I'm aware right now, we just need to study it too.
That is adrenaline. Okay?
Okay, but mostly we're just told that adrenaline is for faster heart rate and fighting flight reflex.
Both, you can write down both adrenaline and glucagon, both are released, which increases the concentration of glucose in blood.